Welcome to the Appalachian Trail. Hi, my name is Mark Flagler. 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to thru-hike the entire Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. It was the most amazing adventure of my entire life. I wish everybody could experience what I did, and that's why I'm here right now. I've returned to the trail to show you what it's like to really thru-hike the Appalachian Trail.
Breathtaking, historical, mystical, the Appalachian mountain range. The courageous are drawn to these mountains for one reason: to hike the Appalachian Trail. Secluded beneath the trees and along the crest of the Appalachian Mountains is the Appalachian National Scenic Trail, known to hikers as the AT. This continuous footpath stretches 2,173 miles from Georgia to Maine. It traverses through 14 states and is recognized as the most famous hiking trail in the world. Each year, a few thousand venturesome individuals attempt to hike the entire length of the trail in one season. These brave souls are called thru-hikers. Thru-hikers push themselves physically, mentally, and emotionally every day.
I don't get people who do this just because they enjoy it.
I decided to quit at Harper's Ferry.
It's how I will spend purgatory.
To this point here, I've lost 50 pounds.
I was always a little bit nervous to be alone.
It hurts. Wet. Lots of rain.
Missing your family, your feet hurt.
I'm sort of not here officially, but and now I feel great. I'm ready to keep going.
For 4 to 7 months, they hike in extreme conditions of snow, rain, fog, and oppressive heat, while carrying everything they need to survive on their backs. Every day is an opportunity to meet interesting characters that make the AT so memorable. The thru-hiker begins an epic journey full of high hopes and uncertainties. Less than 20% of hikers actually reach their goal. Regardless of time spent out here, each individual leaves the Appalachian Trail with experiences that change their life forever. The southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail is on Springer Mountain in Georgia. Anxious hikers gather at the summit to begin their long hike. They take time to sign the hiker register and pose for some memorable photographs. Each hiker ponders their decision for attempting to thru-hike the AT. This is the first day of their adventurous and rewarding journey.
I guess there's numerous reasons why people hike the trail, but for me it's, I guess, just to better connect with the natural world, to feel my feet on the earth, every step of the way.
I look at this as going to be a kind of a spiritual, physical, and a mental cleansing.
Pretty much something that I've always wanted to do. Right now it's a good time. I just graduated from school. I've got the time. I've been saving up money, so now or never, so I want to go for it.
You know, if 6 months ends and I haven't made it, then I have to accept that for what it is. Or if I only make it, you know, as far as like Pennsylvania, that might not be such a bad thing either, but I'd like to make it. I'd like to be determined and make it. Plus I got a cold beer waiting for me in Chicora, New Hampshire. That's gonna be my inspiration right now.
I'm not really particularly looking for anything, just to be out here and enjoy myself and what I learned from my first 2 hikes, that the camaraderie the peace, the serenity, the tranquility of being out here.
I'd like to give a call to the elderly people that have problems, that have medical problems, who have sat in front of the TV for 20 years, to get out, start walking, and get out and see some of this. You don't have to be a thru hiker, but you can take it one step at a time, 5 miles a day, 2 miles a day, and still see the beauty that this Appalachian Trail has to offer. It's really great out here.
Well, I guess my son inspired me more than anything else. He thru hiked a couple of years ago, just out of college when he graduated, and kind of followed him along the way and talked to him pretty much weekly, and it just sounded like a wonderful outdoor adventure, and thought I had to try it.
One of the first challenges hikers face on the trail is the ever-changing weather. Yesterday it was 65 degrees, and this morning it's 25 degrees. Be prepared for some below-freezing temperatures at the beginning of your hike. A side trail brings you to a plaque honoring Benton Mackay, the father of the Appalachian Trail. His vision inspired the creation of this grand trail. In 1937, his dream became a reality, and the AT opened as a continuous pathway. The first AT through hike was completed in 1948 by Earl Schaefer. Since then, over 7,500 hikers have hiked the entire length of the Appalachian Trail. Hikers follow white-painted blazes all the way to Maine. The blazes are about 2 inches wide and 6 inches high on trees, rocks, posts, or any place visible. A double blaze, one on top of another, indicates the trail is about to change direction, so pay close attention. Hawk Mountain Shelter is a very popular place. Most hikers stay here the first night on the trail. There are currently 262 shelters scattered along the trail. The wooden structures are 3-sided with a roof and raised sleeping platform. There are usually places to set up tents around the shelters. Some shelters even have cables to hang up your food bags. This will protect you and your food from black bears and scavenging critters. At the beginning of the trail, the shelters are full. Shelters are noisy with people snoring, late-night bathroom visits, and mice scampering over sleeping bags and heads. Water is available at most shelters. Sometimes the water is merely feet away, and other times it is a half-mile trek. A privy is located near each shelter. They come in all shapes and sizes, but the structures all serve the same purpose: to dispose of human waste. This particular privy offers excellent views and plenty of fresh air, all while you sit down and take care of business. The shelter register is the main form of communication between hikers on the trail. You can leave anything you want in these journals: poems, drawings, trail info, or notes to hiker friends. The register is a magnet for trail gossip, keeping hikers up to date with daily events. The hikers slowly but surely leave Hawk Mountain Shelter. One by one, they pack up their gear and head up the trail to begin another day on the AT. The once crowded shelter now stands alone, awaiting the arrival of the next batch of tired hikers. The average through hiker walks 6 to 12 miles a day during the first couple of weeks. This gives your body and mind time to adjust to the steep terrain, heavy packs, and other hardships of trail life. Blood Mountain is the highest peak on the AT in Georgia. The historic shelter is located near the summit, and the large rock outcrop provides spectacular views of Georgia. According to Indian legend, a fierce battle was fought here between the Cherokee and Creek Indians. The slopes ran red with blood, which inspired the name Blood Mountain. The first 30 miles is the first of many endurance tests. At the bottom of the mountain is Neal's Gap and Wolassee Center, the first place where the trail meets civilization. On average, 20% of through hikers that make it to Neal's Gap get off the trail and go home. The full-service outfitter and gift shop is an oasis for hikers. Food, resupply, backpacking gear, hostel, laundry, telephone, and real bathrooms. Everything a hiker needs. The knowledgeable staff will go through your backpack and remove unnecessary gear. They educate you on what gear you really need and what you don't.
For the backpacks, we probably go through 400 or 500 packs a year, helping people lighten their loads, helping people understand the hike on the Appalachian Trail a little bit better. We ship about 8,000 pounds of gear out of here every year. What describes us best is we are backologists, we're shoeologists, we're psychologists, and we're sociologists.
Hikers should try to carry no more than 25% of their body weight. Most hikers carry between 30 to 40 pounds, but packs range from 20 to 60 pounds. The pack examination takes some time, but it's worth it. Afterwards, the backpacks are always lighter and the hiker much happier. Hikers are greeted with the ultimate trail magic free food.
Don't get any better than this. Free food for the thru hikers. You're right.
Every year, Boy Scout Troop 605 from Baldwin, Georgia, spends an entire weekend feeding hungry hikers at Tray Mountain Gap.
We come out here because we enjoy the trail, we enjoy doing the service work, and it's just a great way for the boys to get their hours, and by providing meals, and they get to meet some of the most interesting people in the world. We serve biscuits, gravy, pancakes, and sausage. And then for lunch and supper, we serve basically the same meal, and that's hamburgers or cheeseburgers. And if a vegetarian comes through, we do have some salad for them.
Hikers call this act of kindness trail magic, and the Boy Scouts trail angels. Through hikers leave here with full bellies and excellent memories. After 75 miles of walking, these hikers are rewarded with their first state line. Hikers capture the joyous moment. Photos, smiles, and a mental accomplishment of hiking from Georgia to North Carolina.
Goodbye, Georgia! Love North Carolina!
One state down, 13 more to go. The first couple of days in North Carolina are consumed by fog, limiting visibility. The cool, wet weather doesn't make the steep climb up Albert Mountain any less strenuous. The many steps and slippery rock scrambles test the hikers, even their canine companions.
Come on.
Zero views today. What you see is what you get. You don't have time to sit around and wait for the clouds to lift or the sun to come out. Through hikers have to accept this and keep hiking. The trail approaches civilization and enters the Nantahala Outdoor Center. The ascent out of Nantahala is a long, arduous 8-mile climb. It's the first 3,000-foot climb on the AT.
The profile map was pretty accurate. The hard part was probably the last mile. It took a lot out of me.
It was very steep at the end.
It was the toughest climb so far.
Going up the very final climb. It's how I will spend purgatory, because you think you get to the top, and then there was just more. And then there was more, and then there was more.
Going back and forth up Swinbald was not fun.
At the moment, I'm a little drenched, so I'll be heading into town, but if I wasn't quite as wet, I'd probably just keep going to the shelter, but I'm soaked right through to the bone.
The weather clears up in time to experience Fontana Dam Shelter. Because of its luxury, it is known to hikers as the Fontana Hilton. The facility sleeps 20 people with restrooms and showers close by. There are spectacular views of Fontana Lake and the Smoky Mountains. Hikers cross the highest dam in the east and the 6th highest dam in the United States. Fontana Dam rises 480 feet above the valley floor. The Tennessee Valley Authority constructed the dam to furnish hydroelectric power during World War II. The 11,000-acre reservoir provides a wide variety of outdoor recreational opportunities. The first national park on the Appalachian Trail is the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It is one of the largest protected areas in the eastern United States. The AT runs 72 miles through the 400,000-acre wilderness. It is home to the most diverse forest in North America, with 100 species of trees, 2,000 varieties of mushrooms, and 1,500 flowering plants. By now you should be in good hiking shape. The far-fetched 15-plus mile days have become a reality. Up at the higher elevations, a hiker approaches Clingman's Dome. At 6,643 feet, it's the highest mountain on the entire trail. A stone observation tower on the busy summit gives visitors a 360-degree view of the Smokies. The Appalachian Trail follows along the North Carolina and Tennessee state line. At Newfound Gap, there is a rare state line sign. Through hikers take advantage and pose for a photo. At the end of a long day of hiking, through hikers still have plenty to do before going to sleep. You need to set up your tent or grab a spot in the shelter. You need to retrieve water for drinking and cooking. You eat, clean up, socialize, hang your food, and finally climb exhausted into your sleeping bag. This daily routine is all part of life on the AT. Through the trees is a glimpse of Max Patch Bald. The bald appearance is maintained by mowing and controlled burns. The wide summit of Max Patch is one of the best camping spots on the trail. There are incredible 360-degree panoramic views. But what makes this place extra special is witnessing both sunset and sunrise from the comfort of your own tent. This road leads to Hot Springs, North Carolina. It is the first town on the AT. Hot Springs is a small town, but it still provides hikers with what they need. The first thing through hikers do when they get to town is eat. There is a small grocery store for long-term food resupply. The local outfitter has a great selection of gear with a helpful staff and is a popular hangout for hikers. The post office is usually busy with hikers picking up their resupply boxes, bump boxes, and letters from loved ones. There is a library with email in town and multiple payphones so you can keep in touch with home on your journey. The most popular place to stay is the 100-year-old Sunnybank Inn, known to hikers as Elmer's. For 25 years, Elmer has been running this hostel for hikers and other travelers.
We try to just offer hospitality, to be here, to share ourselves with people and to let them share themselves with us. Lots of times people come here to take a break from hiking the trail. Our meals are a real central part of the experience here, we feel. We enjoy cooking, we enjoy eating, and we enjoy sharing that experience with people. We live in a world today where people very seldom sit down and slowly eat a good meal and just have an experience of almost like communion of eating, taking in food and interacting as human beings.
Outside of town, there is an excellent view looking back at Hot Springs and French Broad River. Located on the top of Roan Mountain is Roan High Knob Shelter. At 6,275 feet, it is the highest shelter on the trail. For northbound hikers, this will be the last time the AT climbs above 6,000 feet until Mount Washington in New Hampshire. A cooler of trail magic awaits hikers at the base of Roan Mountain. Thoughtful trail angels leave snacks and sodas for the through hikers. After a quick break, these hikers push on towards the next shelter. A blue blaze trail at Yellow Gap leads hikers to Over Mountain Shelter. The converted red barn was used as a backdrop for the movie The People Under the Stairs. The two-story shelter sleeps 20 people, and the grassy hillside offers plenty of tent spaces. In the morning, hikers can watch the early sun highlight the valley below. The AT can barely be seen skirting up Hump Mountain. One by one, hikers trudge up the 5,587-foot monstrous grassy hill. Near the summit, you are rewarded with a spectacular view looking south. After crossing through the wooded fences, pay close attention. Hump Mountain has a herd of bighorn steers roaming around. Be prepared to see these huge animals walking freely near the trail. The trail intersects Dennis Cove Road. West of the trail is Kincora Hostel. This hostel is almost always full. Through hikers appreciate the family atmosphere along with the peace and quiet. Hostel owner Bob Peoples is a volunteer for the Tennessee Eastman Hiking and Canoe Club. Bob encourages hikers staying there to volunteer time on the trail crew and give back to the AT.
The hikers are interested in the trail, and what we're doing out here today is having the hikers volunteer to help constructing new trail. Basically what you're talking about is somebody made the trail for them. Now they're making it better for the next hikers along the way. And they're giving back.
Without the hard work of volunteers, there wouldn't be a trail. There are currently 31 maintaining clubs on the AT. Club volunteers look after every inch of the trail. The importance of their hard work and dedication cannot be stressed enough. Back at Kincora Hostel, it's time for a haircut.
This just demonstrates the lengths that hikers go to hike light.
A hiker puts his appearance in the hands of a fellow through hiker and a powerful head shaver. A finishing artistic touch of an AT symbol completes the hairstyle. Hikers climb down the steep stone steps and head towards the growing sound of rushing water. This magnificent waterfall is Laurel Falls. The Laurel Fork flows over the edge of the cliff and plummets 40 feet into a welcoming pool. Its raw power and beauty makes Laurel Falls the most spectacular waterfall on the trail. The AT enters Shook Branch Recreation Area and follows along Watauga Lake.
It's the first swim I've had on the trail. God, I feel so clean. I can hike another 25 miles today.
Others make a big splash. The ride is positively exhilarating, and these through hikers are enjoying every second.
It's beautiful in here.
I'm already cold out here.
After the excitement, it's back to the trail.
Congratulations, you've made it to Virginia. The AT runs over 500 miles in this state. That makes it nearly 25% of the entire trail. Virginia has some of the most recognizable and beautiful places on the AT, but it's also one of the most difficult states to hike. Physically, it's just as demanding as most other states. It's the psychological challenges of Virginia that really push hikers over the edge. You would be amazed how many hikers make it to this state line right here, but don't make it to the state line up in West Virginia.
The town of Damascus, Virginia, is said to be the friendliest town on the trail. This small town of 1,000 people is home to the famous hiker festival, Trail Days. The quiet town comes alive during the week-long celebration in May. Trail Days was first held in 1987 as a commemorative event for the 50th anniversary of the AT. Thousands of people from all over the world attend Trail Days. Where do all these people sleep? Most hikers stay out of town at a designated area called Tent City. Tents are clustered together as far as the eye can see. This place is one big social event, buzzing with excitement. Many hikers haven't seen one another since Georgia. That's what makes this event so wonderful. It reunites so many hikers. It's also a perfect time to meet new faces and learn about their trail names.
To get away from what we all call the real world and get on the trail, you leave a lot of things behind, and one of the things that can be left behind very easily is what your identity was or might have been in that other life. So when you move from the culture of the real life to the culture of the trail, you can leave your real name behind and you can take on whatever your fancy or others might fancy would be a good moniker for you. Well, about everyone on the trail has taken a trail name or been given a trail name. And it's a rite of passage, just like doing the AT.
What's up, I'm Snack Attack.
I'm Timber. And I'm Toothpick.
Hi, I'm Otter.
My trail name is Homer, as in Homer Simpson.
Hi, I'm Two Dog Knight. This is Dylan. His trail name is Eustace Banks. And this is Kate, and her trail name is Troublemaker.
Hi, my name's the Sherpa.
together we're the Blues Brothers, because we are in fact brothers.
Gear representatives from around the globe come to trail days and set up booths. Live music can be heard throughout the festival. There are many scheduled presentations on long-distance hiking. Influential hikers tell their stories and share experiences to the interested audience.
The one question that you're always asked that you don't want to hear is, why are you going? Why are you doing this? What is this magic between you folks? Tell me the secret. What is it? The problem is you don't have a clue what the answer is to that question. You know there's an answer, you feel the answer, you understand it, but you can't express it verbally.
The most popular event of trail days is the Hiker Parade. The parade is an opportunity to celebrate and recognize this year's courageous thru-hikers. Eventually, the festival ends. This hiker was 162 miles north of Damascus when the festival began. He hitchhiked from Parisburg, Virginia, to be part of trail days. One by one, hikers leave Damascus and continue toward their goal of thru-hiking the Appalachian Trail. A hiker ascends through a field heading toward the high country. The trail traverses a patchwork of high, open meadows and forest. For several miles, the AT stays above 4,500 feet as it follows the crest of numerous mountains. The grassy meadows around Grayson Highlands State Park are home to a variety of animals. Lucky hikers will get the opportunity to experience the herd of free-roaming ponies that travel throughout the highlands. It's a magnificent sight to witness these beautiful animals grazing along the trail. Hikers enjoy the early afternoon sun at Partnership Shelter. There are many things that make this shelter so unique, but the number one thing is the location. Mount Rogers National Recreation Area headquarters is only a couple of hundred yards away, with a payphone that allows hikers to order pizza, and lots of it. Pizza is the most talked about food on the trail. Carbohydrates, fats, calories. It's everything a thru-hiker needs to survive. Let the rains begin.
Check out this mud. This just shows you that it's been raining a lot lately on the AT. This hiking season has been one of the wettest hiking seasons ever. Last month, May, it rained over 20 days. That's 20 days of waking up, putting on wet clothes, packing up your wet stuff, putting on your wet backpack, and hiking. That's unbelievable. The brutal reality of hiking any long distance trail, especially the Appalachian Trail, is that there are going to be many times that you're absolutely miserable. And being soaked to the bone is definitely one of those times.
It's been raining more this year than it's been raining since 46, I heard, 47. And out of May, it's been like 21 days of rain out of the 31 days, so it's been pretty hard on the trail.
Wet, lots of rain.
Doesn't matter if you get wet, you just hike right through it.
It's rained more than it's been sunny, at least. For every 2 days of rain, probably get 1 day of sunshine, and then it's just humid as hell and the bugs are out. I'd rather it rain. Keeps the bugs off of me.
At the top of Cove Mountain is a side trail that leads to Dragon's Tooth. This impressive monolith rises above the trees. The jagged tooth can be climbed to its sharp crown. It's an exhilarating experience to stand on the vertical, narrow peak and gaze across the valley floor. The climb down Cove Mountain is just as heart-racing. The trail is steep and often very exposed. There are even several places where metal hand and footholds are bolted into the sheer rock face to aid the hikers. Before reaching the road, there is a distant view of Four Pines Hostel. This converted garage has been open to weary travelers since 2001. The comfortable and fun atmosphere makes Four Pine Hostel a very popular place for thru hikers. The trail leaves the forest and approaches McAfee Knob. This massive overhanging rock ledge is one of the most recognizable landmarks on the AT. It is considered by many to have the best views in Virginia. These hikers are enjoying the excellent weather and even better scenery. Across the valley are Tinker Cliffs. Folklore says the name comes from Revolutionary War deserters nicknamed Tinkers, who hid nearby and made pots and pans. Several thru hikers admire a severe thunderstorm quickly approaching. Eventually, the small group wisely retreats down the trail in search of cover. The steep, narrow terrain of the Blue Ridge Mountains forces the AT alongside the Blue Ridge Parkway. Over the next 30 miles, the trail zigzags back and forth across the busy roadway. Hikers are seldom out of the sight or sound of parkway traffic. Thru hikers depend on their footwear. Nothing is more important. The Appalachian Trail is extremely brutal on the body, especially the feet. The constant pounding causes blisters, rawness, deep cracking, and numbness, which lasts the entire hike. Many hikers even lose their toenails. The average thru hiker destroys 3 pairs of footwear throughout their journey. AT hikers wear everything from sandals to full leather boots. Choose what's comfortable and right for your hike. Regardless, be prepared for some sore feet and tender toes. A hiker and his dog approach the James River Footbridge. The bridge is dedicated in memory of Bill Foote, a 1987 thru hiker and honorary life member of the Appalachian Long Distance Hikers Association. He applied for grants and gained the cooperation of numerous agencies, making this dream a reality. It's the longest foot-use-only bridge on the AT. The trail crosses Interstate 64 and enters Shenandoah National Park. take time to read over the regulations and other updated park information. Through hikers will find the 101 miles within the park well graded. This is where hikers hit their stride and start cranking out 20-plus mile days. There is a large white-tailed deer population in the park. Nearly 2 million visitors each year come to the park, so the deer are used to people. Always respect their space and never feed them. A fed deer is a dead deer. There are also plenty of black bears in the park, more than one per square mile. These shy and usually non-aggressive animals can weigh over 400 pounds. While in the backcountry, stay alert and pay attention to your surroundings. If you're going to see a bear on the AT, you will see it here. Most of the AT traverses through a lush forest. The vegetation in some sections is so thick that it forms a tunnel. For miles and miles, the only place hikers are able to see is directly in front or behind them. Views are few and far between. This psychological challenge is known to hikers as the Green Tunnel. Many through hikers can't stand the monotony and boredom of these sections and leave the trail altogether. There are several places in the park where hikers can grab a bite to eat. It's important to eat and resupply at these facilities so you can keep your pack weight down. Hikers experience trail magic at Big Meadow's wayside. Friends of a through hiker show up with fresh fruit, salad, fried chicken, and homemade casseroles. Shortly after Rod Hollow Shelter is the infamous section of trail hikers call the roller coaster. For 13.5 miles, the trail climbs up and down 10 separate peaks, one after another. This ride tests the will and conditioning of every hiker. You will be exhausted when you reach the end of this section and ecstatic that this challenge is finally over. A side trail takes hikers to the Blackburn Trail Center. This retreat is run by the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. The center has a free bunkhouse with tent sites and platforms nearby. Every evening, the courteous staff cooks a free meal for through hikers. The family-style dinner is the perfect ending to a challenging day.
Believe it or not, we are about to leave the state of Virginia. Woohoo! Finally! Hikers spend so much time in this state, and with the weather being so wet and miserable, making it here is an amazing accomplishment. And it says a lot about who you are inside. So without any more hesitation, let's jump over the state line and scream for joy, because we are now entering West Virginia.
The AT runs just over 2 miles in West Virginia. Hikers followed the many stone steps down into the historic town of Harper's Ferry. This area saw extensive Civil War action. Since 1963, most of the town and surrounding ridges are recognized as a National Historical Park. Harper's Ferry is also home to the Appalachian Trail Conference headquarters, known in the hiking community as the ATC. Since 1972, the volunteer staff has educated people about the Appalachian Trail and responsible outdoor recreation.
all that land, which is now well over 250,000 acres, has to be managed. The people have to be helped with information and stuff. So we start at the point of trail and land management. We do just about everything that a federal national park staff would do.
If you are through hiking the trail or piecing the trail together, you need to register here. The first step is to get your picture taken by a staff member. Take the photograph inside and fill out your contact information. Slide your picture into the photo journal and become part of the AT history. The trail leaves the town of Harper's Ferry and approaches the Potomac River. The moment hikers set foot on the Byron Memorial Footbridge, they have left the state of West Virginia and are entering into Maryland. The majority of the AT in Maryland winds through state park lands. Washington Monument State Park was built around the first monument ever constructed to honor the father of our country, George Washington. The bottle-shaped structure was built by the small town of Boonesboro in 1827. The observation deck provides great views of the surrounding countryside. A current through hiker follows the Blue Blaze side trail down to Annapolis Rocks. These limestone cliffs on Maryland's Blue Ridge are an extremely popular place to visit. An environmental impact study recognized Annapolis Rocks as the most ecologically damaged spot on the entire AT. A valiant effort was made to help protect and rehabilitate this area. It's always important to practice leave no trace ethics when spending any amount of time in the wilderness.
Trying to get people to avoid those impacts that they can and to minimize those impacts that they can't. And things like building campfires, things like cutting down trees, things like partially burning their food in campfires and having animals come in and get the remains, actually feeding animals. All of these things taken in isolation are not a big issue, but when you take millions of people doing them, it's a huge issue for the land managers and for the visitors of the Appalachian Trail.
The trail approaches the Mason-Dixon line. You are now leaving the south and entering the north. This historic survey line also serves as the Maryland and Pennsylvania state line. The AT runs 229 miles through the Keystone State. This hiker enters the seventh state on the trail. Hikers take a break at the general store in Pine Grove Furnace State Park. One of the great traditions on the trail is the half-gallon challenge. The challenge is simple. Eat an entire half-gallon of ice cream at one sitting. This through hiker has no problem. It took him only 17 minutes to devour the ice cream. These smart hikers share the half-gallon. The prize of success is bragging rights, a wooden spoon, and a full belly.
I did a half-gallon challenge and survived.
After the gluttony and excitement, it's back to the trail. Hikers approach the midpoint marker of the Appalachian Trail. Even though the trail mileage changes every year, this wooden sign remains here, symbolizing the halfway point of the AT.
Woo! Halfway, baby! Woohoo!
For years, this is where hikers have been celebrating the halfway point of the AT. So when they make it here, they have been through a lot. Physically, mentally, and emotionally, they're challenged every day. So when hikers see this midpoint sign for the first time, you can just see it on their faces that they're excited and glad to be here. And they should also be impressed with themselves, because they've hiked in 7 states totaling 1,087.5 miles from Springer Mountain, Georgia to here. And the moment they touch this marker and sign the register, they have officially hiked half of the Appalachian Trail.
First half of the AT, a lot of the challenge is dealing with getting in physical shape, missing your family, your feet hurt, you know, some real basic stuff. It's not so exciting when you're looking forward to coming out to the woods, and then the first couple weeks it's no leaves are on the trees and it's cold every night. So that's a part of a challenge that I don't think a lot of people anticipate.
The truly unique thing, the thing about the AT that is so great is anybody can do it. And you don't have to be an athlete, you don't have to be fit, you will be fit.
No right or wrong way to do anything. Everything from gear to how you hike, to the pace you hike, to what towns you stay in, to how long you stay in the towns. It's all what you want to do for why you want to do it.
Don't drop the book to lose weight. It's nice to read out here. That was one of the first things I got rid of and one of the first things I picked back up.
Pack weight just about is everything. You know, on the trail itself, you really have to lighten the load. I mean, it makes it easier on your feet, your energy level at the end of the day, because at the end of the day you still have to do a lot of chores. It's not like you have a lot of free time.
Just have fun, just make it fun, you know, be silly, be stupid, and you know, that's one great thing about having so many people around. There's a lot of personalities to bounce off of.
The big thing for me was the mental condition and getting to the point where I could get up every day, get into a routine, cook my breakfast, get on the trail without hassling.
Like I don't get people who do this just because they enjoy it. You know, like for me, just for like it hurts. You know, like I think, man, if I was gonna ask myself every day, why am I doing this because it hurts, I gotta have a good answer, because if it's just because it's fun, I'd be home.
Hike your own hike and don't worry what other people are doing. If they're hiking 30 miles, they're hiking 5 miles. If they're partying or if they're completely serious, it doesn't, I just really learned that you can't worry about everybody else. It's just your thing. If you want to make it, then you got to worry about yourself, care about other people as far as, you know, how their hike is going, but not what they're doing. I think that's the most important thing for me.
Welcome to the second half of the Appalachian Trail. Hikers are excited about the second part of their journey. They still have Pennsylvania and 7 more states to walk through before successfully through hiking the Appalachian Trail.
The Appalachian Trail tests the mind, body, and soul of each through hiker. The journey to the halfway point is long and extremely difficult. Hikers are now in excellent hiking shape while having survived below freezing temperatures and the wettest spring ever on the trail. They have accepted the constant aches and pains, tired muscles, and very sore feet. The daily routine of trail life has been mastered and customized to the individual hiker. By now, the hiker population has thinned dramatically as every day exhausted hikers leave the trail, giving up their dream of through hiking the AT. Through the hardships, the courageous develop a powerful bond and lasting friendships. They've already accomplished so much. But the question still lingers. Do I have what it takes to make it to the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail?
Just getting to this point, I feel like I've already accomplished something. But it is like, like a race unfinished. Getting this far gives me the confidence that I think that I'm going to need to make it past any obstacles that present themselves.
And I'm looking forward to the fact that I pretty much got this down now. Now it's just doing it. Now it's just the clicking out the miles.
I'm looking forward to the second half. New England's going to be great. The weather and the leaves are going to be changing.
In the past couple hundred miles to see a little bit of smoother terrain, not such big up and down. So it'll be nice to give ourselves a little bit of a break and just enjoy the hiking, because I know when we get up to the northeast it's going to get brutal again as far as the mountains go.
I'm looking forward to getting to Vermont because I went to school there.
I have a lot of friends, all over the north, so I'm excited to hopefully get some people out and hike with me and kind of introduce them to the trail experience.
I think there's uphill psychology and downhill psychology. Like, I think don't trust any decisions you make while walking uphill, And
I think I'm pretty well versed in it right now. After 3 months, if you can do it this far, I think, and you're still loving it and you're having a great time, I just expect everything to continue to go the same way.
I'm excited to see how big my beard's gonna get.
You still have this impending second half to go, but it's, it definitely seems a lot more possible to do it now.
The trail leaves the forest and continues through Pennsylvania farmland. The AT zigzags through a patchwork of crops, finally reaching civilization and the town of Boiling Springs. The Mid-Atlantic Regional Office of the ATC is located near the town lake. The large porch and swinging chair persuades hikers to take a well-deserved break. These hikers attempt to hitch a ride to a local pizza place. They are successful, and the all-important prize is food. Leaving Boiling Springs, the AT continues through the Cumberland Valley. Hikers wind through hedgerows and cross the many cornfields before re-entering the mountains. Hydration plays a key role in keeping hikers fit and healthy along the trail. Dehydration can cause injuries and can even be life-threatening. It's important to know that there are many waterborne viruses and parasites in the water that may make you ill. Most hikers choose to purify their drinking water using a filter or a chemical treatment. Some choose not to filter at all. These risk-takers drink it straight from the source. During dry years, many water sources dry up, forcing hikers to carefully plan their daily routine around available water sources. Through hikers take a short break at Hawk Rock, overlooking the town of Duncannon alongside the Susquehanna River. The trail travels through the center of town and approaches one of the most talked about sleeping establishments on the trail, the Doyle Hotel. It's nearly 100 years old and is one of the original Anheuser-Busch hotels. The bar downstairs provides weekend entertainment. Hikers converge here to enjoy the live music and the social scene. Staying here is quite an experience. You never know what to expect. A church group surprises hikers with trail magic near Highway 225. These trail angels are friends of a thru hiker. Hikers stop to enjoy the food and good company. It's these continued acts of kindness that makes the AT so special. Some thru hikers run towards 501 shelter to get out of the rain. Wet weather usually persuades hikers to stay in shelters. Staying dry is always a plus. This old pottery barn is maintained by nearby caretakers and is fully enclosed, providing protection from the elements.
That's all? That's all you have?
With the road close by, a cell phone is used to order some much-needed delicacies. The trail suddenly becomes a rock obstacle course. For miles and miles, through hikers walk up, down, around, and over the dreaded Pennsylvania rocks. It's absolutely exhausting, both physically and mentally, as each step must be placed perfectly to ensure safety. It only takes one wrong step, and your AT experience could come to an end. Snakes may be encountered while hiking on the AT. In Pennsylvania, there are two venomous varieties of these reptiles, copperheads and timber rattlesnakes. These beautiful and elusive creatures should be treated with respect and given plenty of space. Unfortunately, both species are becoming increasingly rare. The steep climb out of Lehigh Gap is one for the memory books. A group of hikers worked their way up the giant rock pile of a mountain. The ascent is an adrenaline rush as hikers face vertical hand-over-hand rock scrambles. The further north you hike in Pennsylvania, the more brutal the rocks become.
When you are in the rocks, you are in a lot of work. They hurt.
Horrible. Very, very trying on your patience and your motivation.
A couple of days where it was pretty bad. Sharp rocks, boulders, boulder crawling. Sometimes it was like Billy Goat City, hand and fist.
It was those little rocks were the bad part. The big rocks, boulders were fine. It was those little damn little rocks that twisted your ankle every time you stepped on one.
There are little rocks that bite your feet. There are slightly larger rocks that rock and hurt your ankles. There are bigger rocks that you might be able to skip across, and huge rocks that you just walk.
It's the mountain. The mountain is what it is. The trail is what it is. There's nothing you can do about what the trail is going to be. You go out there every day, you walk it. If you don't like it, well, go home.
There's just rocks on the trail. You know, if you have a bad attitude, it's going to be a bad experience. If you have a good attitude, it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's just another experience on the AT, and it was good.
The trail leaves the rocks and enters the town of Delaware Water Gap. The Church of the Mountain Hostel is near the AT. Inside, there are bunk spaces, a shower, and a large meeting room. Outside, there is a shelter and a spacious grass lawn, perfect for tenting. Once a week, the congregation provides a potluck dinner for the famished through hikers.
Hikers are always thrilled to be fed. The best part is when they walk up the driveway and we're just setting up dinner and they didn't know they were going to be fed, and they've just done 20 miles and they're exhausted and they're filthy, and it doesn't matter because there's dinner all spread out.
Hikers and locals sit down together, eat, and share stories. The sense of community experienced at this feast is unmatched along the trail. A hiker approaches the Delaware River Bridge and the end of another state. Once you cross the Delaware River, you have left the state of Pennsylvania and have entered into New Jersey. Sunfish Pond is the southernmost glacial pond on the Appalachian Trail. A hiker passes the many rock sculptures along the bank. For years, visitors have created these artistic cairns at this registered national landmark. The artwork complements the crystal clear water and beautiful landscape. A group of through hikers walk on a newly built wooden walkway through the Pochuck Creek floodplain. The elevated boardwalk stretches over a mile and provides hikers with an easy stroll through a lush marshland of tall grasses and wildflowers. Until this year, hikers had to share the busy roadways with fast-moving vehicles. But now, this new structure cuts out those hazardous miles heading towards the town of Vernon. This is another example of how the ATC is continually striving to improve the trail. Located near the middle of Vernon is St. Thomas Episcopal Church. The downstairs area is used as a hostel for hikers. A maximum of 12 people can stay here per night. There is a large community kitchen and plenty of floor space to sleep. Donations are encouraged, and hikers are responsible for keeping the place clean. A hiker box can be found at almost every hostel along the trail. These boxes are mostly filled with unused food, but hikers also place clothing, camping gear, books, and other unneeded treasures here. The rule of thumb is, take only what you need and leave the rest for the next batch of hikers. The most talked about topic on the trail is food. It seems like every conversation eventually turns to the subject of food. It's vital to eat high-energy food and lots of it. A typical breakfast will include instant oatmeal, cereal, Pop-Tarts, fruit pies, or nutrition bars. Popular lunches include a bread product that can be smothered with toppings like peanut butter, meats, cheeses, powdered hummus, cream cheese, or even cake frosting. Common dinners include pasta, rice, couscous, beans, instant potatoes, stuffing, or soups. Through hikers sometimes add extras like dehydrated vegetables, tuna, chicken, or sardines. Even with all the food through hikers eat, men tend to lose a significant amount of weight, and women tend to gain muscle mass. Through hikers make it to the New Jersey and New York state line. They pause for a quick break and both sign the trail register. After a photograph, they continue on into the 11th state on the AT. These through hikers push through one of the most recognizable features on the AT, the lemon squeezer. The trail squeezes between two slabs of stone for a fun and exciting challenge. One by one, hikers scramble through the narrow crack. The corridor is just 2 feet wide and angled slightly with several steep steps. Balance, strength, and flexibility are all used to make it to the other side. The Appalachian Trail is in close proximity to civilization over the next few hundred miles. This group reaches Palisades Interstate Parkway. They patiently wait for a break in the speeding traffic to rush across the busy parkway. The summit of Bear Mountain has a large stone observation tower. This popular tourist spot provides visitors with spectacular views of the Hudson River Valley. On a clear day, you can even see the New York City skyline, only 30 miles away. A through hiker enters the Trailside Museum and Zoo. This section of trail leading through the zoo is an original section from 1923. The elevation descends to 124 feet above sea level, making it the lowest elevation on the entire AT. Since Georgia, hikers have seen many of these animals roaming freely in the wild. It's an emotional experience for thru hikers to witness these native species now confined to a cage. The trail crosses Old West Point Road. There is a blue blaze side trail that leads you to the Graymore Spiritual Life Center. Hikers are permitted to stay at the monastery's ball field. There's plenty of level grass to set up a tent, or you can sleep in the picnic shelter. The first 14 hikers to arrive can attend the free all-you-can-eat family-style dinner promptly at 5:30 p.m. Since 1972, the resident friars have shown their hospitality towards weary travelers. Two thru hikers approach the Appalachian Trail Railroad station. The train stops here a couple of times a week and travels to New York City. These inquisitive hikers read over the scheduled arrival times and then take a break in the shade. They pass up the trip to the Big Apple and push on towards another state. A thru hiker takes his final steps in New York. Welcome to Connecticut. He stops for one last look, and then he's off again, this time hiking in New England. Traditionally, it was said that you could hike the AT on $1 a mile. But with inflation, this is increasingly difficult, and only the thriftiest of hikers can manage this. Most thru hikers spend $2 or more a mile. There are several side trails that bring you to Great Falls. This local swimming hole is a popular place during hot summer months. The dam above diverts most of the water for power generation, so the 60-foot falls are only great during heavy rains or snowmelt. Regardless, visitors flock here to relax in the sun or go for a cold, refreshing plunge. Two thru hikers and their dog approach the top of Bear Mountain. At 2,316 feet, it's the highest peak in Connecticut. These hikers take a water break at the summit and gaze across the valley below. The possibilities of afternoon thunderstorms keep the hikers and their canine companion moving. After a steep climb down Sage's Ravine, these hikers reach the Connecticut and Massachusetts state line.
4 more states to go, baby.
The AT is slowly becoming more strenuous, preparing the thru hikers for the rugged north. A half-mile side trail brings hikers to one of the most relaxing places to stay on the AT. Nestled on the north shore of the pond is Upper Goose Pond Cabin. Inside, there are bunk spaces, a kitchen, and fireplace. Tenting platforms are scattered throughout the forest, and the covered front porch provides protection from the weather. The Appalachian Mountain Club and its hard-working caretakers maintain this hiker utopia. The weather quickly changes, and an afternoon thunderstorm consumes the area. Drenched hikers push to get to the cabin and out of the daily thunder showers.
One good solid week where it was raining when I went to bed, it was raining when I got up.
Yeah, when it started back at first, I thought, oh, no, not more rain.
At least for the last 14 days about it, it's rained pretty much every day.
What I hate is getting into camp and being soaking wet, and having like the only clothes I have be on me and wet.
It's sort of cloudy all day, then you look up and think, oh, a little bit of sun, and then it begins to pour on you and you're wet.
At the end of the day, when it's been raining all day, I notice I am really, really tired mentally and emotionally and physically.
You know, you got to take it for what it's worth. Rain is going to happen, and you just got to find the good in it rather than curse it.
If it's a trail I'm hiking on or a stream, it doesn't really matter as long as it leads to Katahdin, I guess.
When the weather clears up, the already soaked hikers take advantage of Upper Goose Pond. Some take turns paddling in the canoe as they explore the tranquil waters. Others go for a swim. Through hikers rarely pass up the opportunity for a refreshing and rejuvenating swim. The trail crosses Washington Mountain Road, and a short hike to the right takes you to the Cookie Lady's house. She and her husband give through hikers homemade cookies to snack on. The cookies are great, but the blueberries are even better.
Check out the size of these blueberries.
The blueberry farm is filled with bushes laden with plump, ripe berries. Grab a bucket, pick as many as you can eat, and then pay a modest price for these irresistible morsels. Bog bridges are used along the trail to provide safe travel over designated wetland areas. The heavy rains this year have saturated the normally dry trail, turning it into a muddy mess. In some sections, the AT looks more like a stream than a national scenic trail. The trail enters the small town of Dalton. A local trail angel nicknamed the Ice Cream Man lives beside the trail and provides hospitality to through hikers. If you get there early in the day, you might get handed a heaping portion of ice cream. Hikers can sleep in the backyard and hang out on the large wraparound porch. A group of southbound through hikers make their way through town. It's that time of year when northbound and southbound AT hikers start to share the trail.
Northbounders typically start about March, and southbounders typically start around June. I just graduated. It made a lot more sense for me to hike a southbound hike than a northbound hike.
The biggest thing is that there's fewer people going southbound, so it's a smaller community of people that you're hiking with.
Started off, we had our shelter space, and then we started hitting the big groups of northbounders, and shelters started getting full.
The hikers is the whole community, you're all in it for the long haul.
We pass about a dozen northbounders every day, and there's only a few of us southbounders.
Northbounders start out with about 3,000 other through hikers, whereas southbounders probably start out with about 200 others.
I keep thinking that the next section is going to be the easy section, but it never gets easy. At the best, it only gets less hard.
You all got something in common, whether you're going north or south.
A hiker climbs a paved walkway to the highest mountain in Massachusetts, Mount Greylock. At 3,491 feet, it's also the tallest peak since Shenandoah National Park in northern Virginia. The 92-foot stone tower on the summit is a war memorial, a tribute to the state's casualties of war.
This is the Massachusetts and Vermont state line. The AT runs 149.5 miles through this Green Mountain state. Lately, the terrain has been getting a bit tougher. The mountains are getting bigger, the climbs longer and steeper. And it's really just preparing the hikers for what's up ahead.
The state line is also the junction with the Long Trail. Completed in 1930, The Long Trail was the nation's first long-distance trail. The Appalachian Trail and Long Trail share the same path and white painted blazes for the next 104 miles. The Appalachian Trail Conference's volunteer trail crew programs were established to help the local trail clubs train volunteers and complete heavy maintenance and construction projects.
Today the Volunteer Long Trail Patrol is out and we're kind of erasing the old tent sites, the ones that were built in the 30s right next to this beautiful, gorgeous stream. Pretty spot, but unfortunately it was having bad effects on the trout habitat. We're trying to make it so it looks like nobody ever camped there, so people won't be tempted to do it in the future. We'll try to make it so that even if they really want to, they can't without a lot of work.
These important programs are scattered along the trail. The work is grueling, and the crews consist of 6 to 8 volunteers with an experienced leader. Two through hikers and their dog take a lunch break on the summit of Stratton Mountain. A fire tower on the nearly 4,000-foot peak is open to visitors. It provides 360-degree panoramic views of the Green Mountains. The Green Mountain Club maintains the area and has a caretaker on the summit to educate visitors on the area's cultural and natural history. At the bottom of the mountain is Stratton Pond. A side trail follows along the pond and brings you to the North Shore tenting area. This place is heavily used and has also been recognized as another ecologically damaged spot on the AT. The outdoor recreation industry has developed the well-known Leave No Trace ethics in order to minimize human impact and help preserve our natural wonders. The 7 steps to leave no trace are: plan ahead and prepare. Travel and camp on durable surfaces. Dispose of waste properly. Leave what you find. Minimize campfire impacts. Respect wildlife. And be considerate of other visitors. Adopting these outdoor ethics will help protect our wilderness. The trail reaches Cooper Lodge Shelter. The Vermont Forest Service built the enclosed stone cabin in 1939. Nearby is a blue blaze trail leading up to the peak of Mount Killington. At 4,235 feet, it's the second tallest mountain in the state and the highest point near the AT in Vermont. The AT intersects with US Highway 4, and a hiker attempts to hitch a ride up to the inn at the Long Trail. These through hikers decided to walk up the roadway. The inn has been showing hospitality toward travelers since 1938. Through hikers get a great rate on rooms, and an overnight stay includes a hearty breakfast. Across the street is a designated area where hikers can set up their tents for free. Hikers often take a 0 day here. That means there will be 0 miles hiked today. It's a day to rest and give your mind and body a break from the demands of trail life. 0 days rejuvenate hikers and help them accomplish their goal of hiking from Georgia to Maine. The inn's focal point is McGrath's Irish Pub. It's known to have the best pint on the trail. The food is fabulous, serving traditional Irish dishes and good old American pub grub. Live music during the weekends makes this establishment a must-stay for hikers. The AT crosses the Connecticut River and reaches the Vermont and New Hampshire state line. Two through hikers approach the 13th state on the Appalachian Trail. After a brief stop, they push on into New Hampshire. This road takes you to the Hikers Welcome Hostel. This is the last place to stay before entering the White Mountains National Forest. Outside is a shower, laundry, and bathroom facilities. Hikers converge downstairs to chat, watch TV, or listen to the radio. Hikers can sleep upstairs or out back in one of the permanent hostel tents. Socializing around a toasty fire is the perfect ending to a strenuous day on the trail.
We are about to enter the most talked about mountains on the Appalachian Trail, the White Mountains. If the weather's nice, prepare to see some of the best views on the trail and experience spectacular above tree line hiking. If the weather's bad, be careful, very careful, because these mountains are extremely rugged and very unforgiving.
The trail climbs Mount Moosilauke and enters a fragile alpine environment. The name Moosilauke is an Indian name meaning high, bald place. The 4,802-foot peak is the first place on the AT where the trail climbs above tree line. The rock-covered summit is a great place to take in the unbelievable views of the White Mountains. After absorbing the overwhelming scenery, the hikers continue past the rock cairns and on to the barren landscape. The climb down to Kinsman Notch is one of the most difficult descents on the AT. Hikers carefully negotiate the steep, often exposed terrain. Some places have rock steps, rebar, and wooden blocks for footing. At times, the trail is even steeper than the Cascade waterfall it follows. There are several opportunities to admire the beautiful falls as your knees are punished.
The mission of the Appalachian Mountain Club is to promote the protection, enjoyment, and wise use of the mountains, rivers, and trails of the Appalachian region. So we do a number of things to serve that mission. Among them are operating places like the huts so that people can get connected with the outdoors and enjoy the outdoors. There are other campsites and shelters in the White Mountains, so there are a range of opportunities for people to have overnight experiences in the Whites.
There are 8 backcountry huts owned and operated by the Appalachian Mountain Club. The large enclosed facilities sleep 36 to 90 people. Each place is run and maintained by a small staff known as the crew. The overnight price includes bunk space, pillow, several blankets, and bathroom privileges. Staying guests get to enjoy 2 family-style meals, dinner and breakfast. The hospitable crew spends most of their day preparing and cooking these feasts. They also provide daily weather reports, natural and cultural history programs, and hilarious entertainment. The southernmost hut in the Whites is Lonesome Lake Hut. These 2 through hikers participate in a work for stay at the hut. The work exchange program operates on a first-come, first-served basis. Each day, a couple of hikers are chosen to help the staff with their daily chores. Work varies, but expect to work between 2 to 4 hours. In return, the hikers get a place to stay and enjoy wonderful meals. The AT reaches the spectacular Franconia Ridge. This ridge walk is an unforgettable experience in any weather condition. This through hiker pushes through the quickly deteriorating weather. The entire ridge is shrouded by fast-moving clouds, strong winds, and dropping temperatures. The next day, the weather changes for the better. Visibility went from 100 feet to over 100 miles. Hikers converge at the summit of Mount Lafayette to enjoy the unexpected good weather and panoramic views. The Presidential Range, including Mount Washington, can be seen in the distance. A short scramble up a side trail brings you to the summit of Mount Garfield. The view down into the valley is absolutely stunning. These through hikers are in awe, admiring the raw beauty of the Appalachian Mountains. The 25-mile section of trail between Crawford Notch and Pinkham Notch follows alongside the Presidential Ridge. Most of the ridge walk travels above tree line and is the highest part of the trail in New Hampshire. The rugged pathway takes you around, over, and along some of the most daunting peaks on the entire AT. The trail reaches Lake of the Clouds Hut. At 5,050 feet, it is the highest, largest, and most popular hut in the Whites. The structure was built in 1915 and can accommodate up to 90 guests. Downstairs, there is a basement shelter known as the Dungeon. Through hikers can pay to stay there, but space is limited to 6 people. The AT skirts around Lake of the Clouds and climbs up Mount Washington. At 6,288 feet, it's the second tallest mountain on the AT. Hikers celebrate at the summit of the highest peak in the Northeast. Severe weather is typical here. On April 12, 1934, the Summit Weather Station recorded the highest surface wind speed ever on Earth, 231 miles per hour. The average summertime high is 52 degrees. And 55% of the time, the peak is covered by clouds. The summit building offers a great resting place out of the elements with a hiker room and snack bar. There is an auto road and cog rail up to the summit. The Mount Washington Cog Railway is the world's first mountain climbing railway and is recognized as a National Historical, Mechanical, and Civil Engineering landmark. Since 1869, the coal-fired steam engine has transported tourists up and down the mountain. During the steep 3-mile journey, the cog crosses paths with the AT. This hiker foursome climbs the rocky southwest ridge towards the summit of Mount Madison. There are remarkable views looking back at the highest peaks in the Presidential Range, Washington and Adams. Hikers descend the 5,363-foot mountain along the narrow crest heading towards tree line. The trail reaches civilization at Pinkham Notch. The visitor center is a busy place. The store provides information, payphone, fee showers, and limited backpacking supplies and gear. Hikers can usually be seen inside the cafeteria, indulging at the all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet. The route up Wildcat Mountain is considered by most hikers to be the toughest climb on the AT. This never-ending ascent traverses over 5 distinct peaks. It's a continual rock scramble up and down the steep terrain for several miles. The best part of this exhausting experience is the views of Mount Washington and the valley below.
The whites are, it may be the most beautiful continuous section of the whole trail so far, but it's kicking my butt. It's very difficult climbing, both going up and coming down.
This is by far the rockiest and the most difficult, but it's been well worth it because you get vistas on top of the summits.
And above the tree line, and you have all these gorgeous views, and with the weather, it just has been beautiful. It's been difficult, but we've trained up to this point, so it wasn't as hard.
It's been pretty tough. Bad knees and some of these downhill combined for just some tough days. I think the views, though, just totally make up for it.
I thought the whites really lived up to the hype.
It's hard, you know, but I think it's as hard as you make it and how you feel that day.
It's really been like 1,800 miles of journey just to get to the whites. And now that I'm here, yeah, they're rugged, but the views are just incredible.
Oh, it's absolutely the prettiest place on the trail. It's also the roughest hiking so far.
Absolutely the most spectacular scenery on the whole trail. You know, the terrain's not for someone to just jump into it. They just come out for a weekend hike and think they're going to do a lot of miles. It's definitely unlike any other mileage on the AT south of here.
We are about to enter into Maine, the 14th and final state on the Appalachian Trail. It is the perfect time of year to hike up here. The leaves are starting to turn, and the weather is finally cooling off. And the wilderness is absolutely breathtaking with all the streams, rivers, and tranquil ponds along the trail. We are only 281.4 miles away from the summit of Mount Katahdin. It's hard to believe that the AT experience is almost over.
A through hiker enters the thrilling Mahoosic Notch. Hikers consider this section the most treacherous mile on the entire trail. There is no place like this anywhere else on the AT. Hikers scramble on, around, over, under, and even through boulders. This rock labyrinth is a fun and exciting challenge. Exhausted through hikers push themselves straight up Mahoosic Arm. This near vertical trail, worn down to sheer rock, is a punishing climb. It leads to a viewpoint with first-class views of the Notch and Maine's majestic wilderness. This section of trail is a spectacular above-tree-line traverse. Through hikers capture the moment on the 4,120-foot summit of Saddleback Mountain. The group utilizes the rock wall on the peak to shelter themselves from the cold prevailing winds. After lunch, they continue on towards the pinnacles of the Horn and Saddleback Jr. The AT climbs toward the highest peak in the Bigelow Mountain Range. Bigelow Mountain is known as Maine's second mountain. In 1976, the 33,000 acres around this mountain range were established as a wilderness preserve, protecting this area forever. The trail crosses Long Falls Dam Road. For northbounders, this road crossing symbolizes the 2,000-mile mark on the AT. Hikers celebrate their accomplishment with pictures, preserving the momentous occasion. The trail intersects the Kennebec River, the most formidable water crossing on the AT. A ferry person is available several hours a day to transport hikers across the fast-moving river. The free ferry is the official, original, and historical route of this section of trail. Do not attempt to ford this river. In 1985, a through hiker drowned trying to ford, and over the years others have had close calls. A 4-mile hitch down Maine 15 brings you to the last town on the trail. Monson has several places to stay, but the most popular is Shaw's boarding home and hiker hostel. There are several private rooms, a bunkhouse, and tent spaces available. Since 1977, Keith Shaw and his family have welcomed more than 36,000 hikers. The cook-to-order breakfasts are a favorite among through hikers. You order 1, 2, 3, or 4 of everything. The only stipulation is you must eat everything on your plate. Here is where you enter the 100-mile wilderness. This section of trail traverses through some of the most remote mountains and forests on the AT. Hikers catch their breath before fording the icy cold west branch of the Pleasant River. There are many streams, creeks, and rivers that have to be forded during an AT through hike, and most of these obstacles are in Maine. The slippery rocks, swift frigid currents, and varying water depths make these sections challenging and potentially dangerous. The first freeze welcomes fall into the area. These through hikers take a break at the summit of Whitecap Mountain. Just around the corner is where hikers usually see Mount Katahdin for the first time. For over 2,000 miles, this famous mountain has lingered in the back of the mind of each hiker. Today, it's front and center as they see it with their own eyes for the first time. The trail crosses over the west branch of Penobscot River. Standing on A-Ball Bridge, you have a breathtaking view of Maine's tallest and greatest mountain, Mount Katahdin. Every hiker that enters Baxter State Park needs to register with a ranger. The nearly 205,000-acre wilderness area and wildlife sanctuary is home to the largest animal along the trail. The North American moose can stand over 7.5 feet at the shoulder and weigh up to 1,800 pounds. You are most likely to catch a glimpse of these enormous creatures as they wade through ponds and lakes in search of food. Most through hikers try to stay at Katahdin Stream Campground at the base of Mount Katahdin. Through hikers prepare for their last night on the Appalachian Trail.
My thoughts right now, and it's something I've been thinking about since I woke up this morning, this is my last night of camping for I don't know how long.
Thinking about home, thinking about people I miss, people I want to see, thinking about wondering if I did what I wanted to do when I came out here.
It's been an incredible journey, and I'm really happy to kind of be having it wind down, not because I hate it or because I think it sucks, but it's long and it's time.
It was amazing. I mean, the people were definitely what made the trail for me.
I can't wait to finish. It's been so long, and even from the very beginning, it's been really hard.
My body physically is glad it's over, but it's a bittersweet thing. I'm going to miss all the good times with all the hikers and the nice people.
Had an amazing time. Tomorrow's going to be fabulous.
I am slowly getting more and more excited that I'm right here. I'm not even thinking about tomorrow right now.
I think I'm gonna break down. I'm already just seeing it in the background, man. It's just giving me goosebumps.
It's a million emotions all at once.
It's the culmination of a long trip. It's been, I think the hardest thing about this trip is just the duration. Physically, yes, it's been challenging. I've been worried about injuries, but I've missed my family tremendously.
But I haven't really felt too excited yet. You know, it's just kind of numb right now. Like I'm not there yet.
I will be so happy to finish. I will be so happy to get up to the top. And I'll be happy not to hike anymore because I'm really tired of hiking.
Definitely the best experience so far of my life.
Hikers woke up to bad news, a Class 4 day, meaning all trails are closed. Katahdin is hit with 60-mile-per-hour winds and collected 4 to 6 inches of snow and ice. With more bad weather on the horizon, the mountain could be shut down for the season, leaving the thru hikers several miles short of their dream.
The weather is a little better today. There are still strong winds, snow, and ice near the summit, but the rangers have given hikers a green light to climb.
The AT reopens, and the thru hikers push through the clouds and wind-blown landscape of snow and ice, finally reaching the summit of Baxter Peak. The battered summit sign is the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail and the end to an epic journey for these brave souls.